First of all, thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all taking time to follow the Buffaloes. Fall camp has gone well. Today is our fifth day, so we're moving along at it. And had a good week of practice, and today I thought was very spirited. We were first day in full pads, which was a lot of fun. It's always fun to get out of pajamas and get into real pads and really start playing football. I thought they responded well today and thought they practiced well. I thought our coaching staff was doing a good job of installing and teaching what we need to get across. And they seemed very, very spirited, and I was glad the sun was out today. It was a beautiful day out there. We need that sun to keep beating down on them and get used to that. So I'll take any questions at this time.
Okay, that's it. Thank you for coming. How's Steffel look the first time in a live action?
He looked good. He did a good job today in the 2-minute. He moves in the pocket well, was very accurate throwing on the run, and I thought he did a good job. I thought he's done a good job all week. Seems very calm and poised.
Coach, so far through spring and summer and this first week of camp, is there something that's really impressed you about this team, about how they've gone about their work, and how does it compare with when you started San Jose State before the program similar?
Right. It's a little hard to compare where it was before, but with these young men, it seems like to me they've done everything we've asked them to do. They've been very spirited in our practices. Our practice tempo is different, and they've really bought into it. We got 42 reps in 20 minutes the other day, which is really, really good. And that more repetitions, the better you get. I'm a firm believer in that. So they're working extremely, extremely hard. And so I think the one thing that I see them is a willingness and a work ethic by the majority of the players has been phenomenal.
Coach, at what point do you turn this team's focus to Colorado State?
Oh, we got a little bit before we turned it to Colorado State, but we think about Colorado State every day. I imagine they think about us too. So, but no, you got to get in your basics before you start. You got to get the basics in before you start trying to game plan. You got to have the basics to game plan with. So you got to have a library, so to speak, to pull from. So we'll be working on ourselves for quite a while here, and then as we get closer to that game, we'll start honing in on Colorado State for sure at that time.
What are the signs you've seen of people buying into the things you were preaching during spring practice now that you're in fall camp? What are the biggest signs you've seen?
Well, I think the commitment level, the effort level. I see guys helping each other, being more of a team atmosphere. That's hard to put a finger on, but you see it. You see different ways kids interact with each other. I've seen more excitement and enthusiasm than we saw in the spring. So I think that shows that they're buying into what's going on, and they're working extremely hard, and it's hard work, but they're also finding a way to enjoy it. And I think that's how you get better at anything you do in life. If you don't enjoy your work, you're not going to get any better at it, right? So I think they're enjoying it. So I think that's good.
How do you use last year's season as a motivator for this year's players without them knowing? Did you do something similar to San Jose State?
No, I don't talk about last year's season at all. Now, I know that they do. And I hope that they do, but I don't bring up anything about last year or things that went on, or all I talk about is the future and now. I talk about now more than I do the future. I talk about what we do now reaps dividends in the future. So I focus on the now. I focus on the individuals here. I don't focus on anything, quote, that happened last year. As a football player, as an athlete, I would imagine you think about different games or different guys you went up against that you might like to get them again when you see them again. I think that's a natural competitive instinct, and I would hope that they have that. But that's not something that I dwell on at all.
Mike, can you talk about the progress that Connor Wood has made under the last season?
Yeah, Connor's made a lot of progress, and been pleased with what Connor's done. Brian Lindgren, I think, is an excellent quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. Has a very good feel with how to motivate young men and how to handle quarterbacks, and he's a very good play caller. So Connor's really improved, and he's had a good fall camp so far. And we, the more they can play, the more and more we can have 11-on-11 type reps, the better and better the quarterbacks will get. And I've been watching; they've all been improving since the first day. They've improved, and then Connor and Stevie Joe have improved tremendously since spring too.
Coach, what have you seen? What have you observed after what the team went through last year? The character of the team, how that's been seen by the coaching staff, and also who's emerged as leaders so far.
Well, first of all, I think we have a lot of great young men on this football team, and I know every coach says that at every team he coaches, and he should believe that. The coach should. If he doesn't, then nobody will, right? I really believe in our young men. We really look for guys that are committed and 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So we're trying to really help develop the whole person, if that makes sense to you. And I think the majority of our young men have bought in. I'm not around them all the time. There was a few that aren't here anymore that really didn't buy in. And there comes a point in time, you either buy in, you either get on the ship or you get off. And I want them all to be on the ship. I wasn't trying to run one person off. But there comes a point in time that they either realize they didn't want to be part of what we were doing and how we did it. We're firm and committed. We're firm and positive, but we hold them accountable. And I think that's the only way to build the team you want to build. And we hold our coaches accountable. We hold everybody in our program accountable the best we can. And but we also give out a little bit of grace, a little bit of rope to work with young people. There's no doubt. But I feel like the overall character of the team is going in the right direction. The leaders that I lean on are the 6 captains. They were chosen by the team. We've had a lot of meetings together. We talk quite often, and to try to get the culture across that we want. And they've been very, very responsive, and they've been very, very good, and they've given me input. So it's fun watching guys mature in that process. And it's really good when they ask really open questions, and that really helps them and it helps our team. So I enjoy that part of it. I really do.
Mike, what did you think of your defensive line? What did you have there when you came in? You kind of wanted to make some young guys and veterans. And can you talk a little bit about what you see of that in terms of
Yeah, our defensive line, I see them improving. They're losing weight. We got a goal they got to try to get to. We're almost there before the first week before the season, first 10 days before the season starts. And I've watched them improve out there and work out there. We're still not to the point of playing at full speed every down, but they're light years ahead of where they were in the spring, and they've already improved this fall. And it's been fun watching them. D-line and O-line are hard positions. You beat on each other all day, and then you got to run to the ball, and you don't ever get to touch a ball. And so they've got to be really humble, hungry people. And I think that those guys are stepping right. I think we got some big, strong guys. I think we got some athletic guys. We need to keep being able to get a little bit quicker step in this league. If you're that much closer to the quarterback, he throws it high. And all of a sudden you hit him, and he starts getting nervous. You come off a block and you trip a guy in the backfield, and all of a sudden he would have gone 50. It's a 1-yard loss. So we're starting to get there. We're not quite there yet, but we are making gains. Yes.
Just how similar is what you're doing? Are you following the same blueprint you did in San Jose State for the most part, or do you tweak things quite a bit to where it's a very different process?
Well, my first year as a head coach, I was running around trying to put out every fire there was. All of you have experienced your first time on your job, and you're kind of calling the shots. It's a little bit. So I'm a lot better this time around, I think, than I was the first time, my first year. Also, our coaching staff was all brand new. All the guys here know what we want, so we're all moving in the same direction. We're doing some things definitely similar, but every school's different. Every program's different. You have different kids. You have different situations. You have different strengths and weaknesses. So you always have to tweak it here and there. But our core values are always going to be the same. Because I learned from Bill Parcells, be who you are. And I have certain core values that I want to live by, and I want our program to live by. So that's our basis. I don't know. I don't know. But they are making big-time progress. You want to put them in all kind of different situations. We had some 2 minutes today. We had some different pressure situations we're going to do. We'll do some situational scrimmages through the week, and that will tell us a little bit more about each guy. But I do think and I know it sounds crazy, but I do think all 4 of them are really improving. Now, I still think Connor Wood's ahead. I still think he's doing a good job. But it's fun to watch other guys make plays and throw the ball accurately and complete passes and make checks. And so it gives you confidence that you got hopefully more than one guy.
It's Gerke challenging them like you thought you might.
I think that I think all of them are doing really well at this point. And Gerke's doing really well. I'm not disappointed in Gerke at all. So.
Coach, what's the difference for your young quarterback group? How they got that
I think it's exciting to watch Paul. You throw it up and watch him run underneath it. If I was a quarterback, that would be exciting to me. But we've got other wide receivers that have been making plays and doing things too. I think our running game's improving. Which if you have if your running game can do some things, it takes pressure off a quarterback. It really does. So hopefully we can keep that progressing. But Paul Richardson's a lot of fun they enjoy playing with Paul. Diego? Yes. I understood everything you said.
Kent Bear wanted you to say
Yeah, Diego's a phenomenal story. I challenged Toby Ninus, try to go find the best kicker in America, and he came back, Coach, I found the best kicker, but he's not in America. I said, okay. Has a powerful leg, really bright young man. We're really excited about him being here. And the way the NCAA rules work with his situation, international, sometimes it's different. He will not be able to play this year. He has to sit, but he'll have 3 years to play after this year. So it's because his high school runs into college. It's kind of different in Mexico. So the way they interpret it, he would have to sit this year and play for 3 years. But he has a very powerful leg, really powerful. So I'm very, very impressed with his power. It's funny, our faculty athletic rep, Dr. Clough, went to that school, went to that school. So it's interesting. It's a small world.
Hey, Coach, another question on Paul. Is his speed such that he can not only open things up for other receivers on the team, but also make it easier on the running game and stuff like that?
I sure hope so. If you have a guy that people can't really cover one-on-one or leave a guy really by himself, they have to put a safety over the top or they have to walk a backer out underneath, that helps you passing lanes. It also helps you running lanes because they're really taking 1.5 players. Okay, and sometimes they have to take 2. And so we'll look at that, and hopefully we'll be able to utilize him well enough to do that, and then we can take advantage of that. So there might be some times that we don't throw it to him 30 times, we only throw it to him 20 times in the game, and that's because we're handing it off some other times. So I think that should help us, and hopefully that will be the case.
Coach, I was wondering what your perception is of the public's perception of
That's a great question. I guess the public's perception, if you read the magazines, is not very good. So, but I tell our kids all the time, and I tell myself all the time, and I truly believe this, block out all the noise. All we have to worry about is ourselves. Our guys that are putting their helmets on, worry about our helmets, worry about what we're doing. You really can't listen to everything else all around. You have to be focused on what you do. To really be a good team and kind of be a good leader, you have to put on a little bit of blinders sometimes and just go. And people don't think you can do it, and you just keep going, and all of a sudden it happens. You see it happen all the time. Look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay? You see it happen all the time. And I think it's amazing how that happens in sports. I think that's one of the things that's great about sports, that everybody keeps going. It's not a sure thing. It's not a sure thing every Saturday this is going to happen. So I think that's exciting, and we're really excited about this season. And I know our players are working extremely hard, and believing that they can stand toe-to-toe with anybody they play. That's what we want to do.
Coach, the secondary certainly struggled last year, but there seems to be plenty of talent back there. What steps are you guys taking to shore that up, and have you seen progress?
Yeah, a lot of hard work. A lot of individual work. Andy LaRussa and Charles Clark. I have 2 secondary coaches on purpose. I don't know if you've noticed, that's kind of a little bit of a trend that started in college football. That's because there's so much passing. There's a nickel back, there's a dime back, there's 4 wides, they're throwing the ball all over the place. So you've got to be good in that area. The other thing that you have to be good at that a lot of people don't think about is they also got to know where they fit on the run. Because you can go the pass all you want, and you're leaving wide open gaps, and they don't fit right, or they overrun, or they fit wrong on the receiver, and the ball pops for a 50-yard gain if they just fit outside instead of inside. So that's critical things that we've been working on. And open field tackling with our secondary, we've been working extremely hard on that, and we will continue to. And I think they are improving. Again, it's repetition. It's going against good players. I think we have some good receivers and some good schemes that they do against us, so that should help us get better.
Mike, talking to a lot of players today, they spoke of youth, and they're very excited about that. They talk about the future so much as now. How does that impact the red shirt and also looking for the future and your decisions that way?
Yeah, great question. I always look first and foremost when you have a young player, is he physically ready to play? If we don't think he's physically ready to play and think he can definitely benefit from a year of red shirt, we're going to red shirt him. But if he's physically mature enough and he can play and he can help us and he's going to play a significant amount of plays, and that there's 2 ways to look at that. You can look at if he can play on 4 special teams and play a backup role, so you come out of a game and he plays 25 plays a game, so over 12 games he's going to play 300 plays in the year, then that's a significant player to help you. So I look at numbers of plays, I look where they would fit in, I look at if so-and-so got hurt, 5th game, would he be ready to do it then? Is he better than the other guy? So there's all these scenarios that go into it. So first of all, I'm going to look at the physicality of the young man. Then secondly, I'm going to look and see if he mentally can handle it. And if he fits those 2 and he's going to play significant plays, I'm playing him. I'm going to play him. So that's kind of how we look at it.
Coach, I know as coaches, it's hard to manufacture and practice the same sort of adversity that players can have in games or experience in games. But I know you try to do that. How does this team respond to adversity when it's
Well, I think they're doing well. We had a couple situations today in 2 minutes where we had a situation where we thought we had a first down. We had to mark it short, so now they had to run the field goal team out there fast and kicked it. We executed, the kid hit the upright. It was a good execution. We had another time where they blocked the field goal, and then made the other group go back out. They drove down and made the field goal just to get all those different situations. We did a 3rd down type scrimmage today also. And then I do a lot of things with them, put them in predicaments of certain things we're doing. I'll do certain drills. They'll be pretty tired, and then put them in something where they got to really think and see how they execute that. And then we'll talk about it. So far they've done well. It hasn't always been an A+, but it wouldn't be on any team in America. But I think they're responding. They are handling it well, though. I don't hear them complaining about it.
Coach, while you're on
To my face, that is.
Can you tell them about the new rule that's going to affect the 3 seconds in the game?
Yeah, if there's 2 seconds or less on the clock, you can't clock it anymore. The game's over. Okay, they're not going to let you clock it and kick a field goal. You have to clock it with 3 seconds. So that's a pretty significant thing as the fans are watching the game. You might say, well, why didn't they throw it out route? There was 6 seconds. Well, if it's under 2 or they get tackled, you can't get the first down, line up. They're not going to let you get the first down with 2 seconds on the clock and clock it anymore.
What's the objective of that?
They're saying that when teams play away, the clock guy there is a homer. I think that's what they're saying. I really do. I think they're saying different clocks. So they're saying that there's no way that should be able. Kind of like in the NBA, there's a certain time you can't dribble, you can't You got to just tap. That same type of rule is the way it was explained to me by the officials.
Like some coaching staffs, their philosophy is beefing their guys up. But you've talked about players, other staff members have talked about how much focus you guys put on losing weight. Is that a philosophy you had at San Jose State as well, or is that about the way offense is and how football?
Right. I'm just big on functional athlete play. I'm not. If you bench 500 pounds and squat 600 and you can't functionally play, okay? So I'm big on functional ability to show up on that football field. Athletes, athletic ability, moving, running, okay? Y'all have seen the Pac-12. It's shoo, shoo, okay? We've got to be the same way. And that's got to be every position. It can't just be, now you got to have some size, there's no doubt. But if you can only play 2 plays and then Oregon and all of them are lining up and running 5 plays before you even get back to the line of scrimmage, what good are you? So our kids are starting to understand that. So that's why, and I'm big on athletes. I'm big on athletic ability at all positions across the board. That's why you'll see us, when we recruit, we'll recruit a lot of tight end type athletic tailbacks, all these different athletes, and then we'll find them places to play, and all of a sudden you just got guys running all over the place.
You lost a couple of key people from the offensive line.
Yes, sir.
Can you evaluate after 5 years progress?
That's a great question. The backups are still learning a lot right now. And then Daniel Munier's not out there yet. He looked really good early in spring. He'll be back. But I think Stephon Nimbot has improved tremendously. I think Jack Harris moving to left tackle is doing a good job there. And then we've got the luxury we have 3 or 4 guys that can play guard or center, which to me is a real luxury. Because sometimes if you've seen it before, a team has a center go down and they can't even run their offense. But we are in good shape there. Coach Bernardi does a good job of training those guys, but a lot of them just got a good knack and feel for it too. So that's helped us in that area of the offensive line. So I really don't know all the guard center position right now. We're kind of moving, but it seems like to me the 2 starting tackles are pretty much ironed out. But Mark Musto and a couple of those other guys are doing a great job in the backups, and they're getting better and better. But I think our 2 offensive tackles are solid, and then inside, we're kind of moving guys around to see what the best combination is on who's healthy, which is a good thing. Because if someone goes down, you've been doing that on and off. Any other questions? Again, thank you very much. And y'all came and the rain went away, so I guess it's y'all guys. All right, thanks.